I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you know so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go pretend that they cool till they bust at your motherfucking chest. I'm getting gutter, my flow been like butter, my check in the bank, they see the number. All of my haters feel one of two ways, really upset or they show some respect. I can't even think about it, I've been up, so read about it, no beat around it, straight to it, no ring around it. You coming for me, we'll see about it, we'll never see it when I get my feet up. 100 meters where I run the fee up, and go from king and 9 I'm on a Pia. I had to re-up on a reel, so you stay defeated, and put it back into the bit, cause I don't really need it. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I had to put all their egos in check. You're not entitled to anything else. I get 10 years of this under my belt. Your art isn't art, they don't feel it, and nobody hears it. Initiative stay on the shelf. Your ego done got in the way. It gotta die today. It gotta go. You should be happy I lighten the load. The weight of your arrogance, heavy as stone. I make an appearance, they already know. That chip on your shoulder gon' crumble and fold, yeah. It's not a secret that you have been fearing the shit that I'm on. So you back to the brag and the boast. But I'm in a class of my own. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check.
Morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on, everybody? It's a beautiful Monday morning. I figured we would do a live stream this morning, because I don't feel like streaming in the evenings. A lot of stuff going on with family in town. And this Thursday, I'll be live with Ken Herron on his channel. He's doing Thursday Night Live on Thanksgiving, so you can check me out over there if you're wanting to catch a live stream at night. So we're going to do his channel on Thanksgiving. No stream on my channel Wednesday because I have family in town. So figure we'd live stream. Today we'll do a little bit of Q&A. We really haven't done any Q&A type of chat in a long time. So we'll figure do that. No Eddie with me today because Eddie has a real job. So can't have Eddie on the stream today. Probably would get him in trouble. So it's just me only. So that being said, let's jump into the chat, see who's here. See quite a bit of you here. Kelly Takai, 3 months on the Brew Crew. Welcome. Thank you, sir. Jonathan Jackson, Ken Booth, happy Thanksgiving, Ken. Intel Maxwell Multi-Rotors, happy Thanksgiving. John Coopy, JSK Enterprises, what's going on? Joe Fotoleo, the Watchman News, Eddie in the chat, but he's not here, so does that really count? But still give him the lips. Matthew Caswell, Andy K, Apone, NGA Outdoors. All right, so we'll just jump into some of the questions I already see coming through here. So I missed the top. There was some questions before the stream started. I didn't quite get a chance to miss. But I did see NGA Outdoors, Autel V3 transmission any better. I have the V1 with the smart controller and is 100. I would definitely say that the V3 transmission is definitely a lot more reliable, a lot more consistent, especially in urban environments where there's a lot of wireless interference. That's where the V3 really sort of succeeds. That's where I had problems with the V1 versions. I would get stuttering and lag. And it was always around cities or areas where there was a lot of wireless congestion. So I don't have those problems as of right now. So I'll definitely say that the V3 transmission did make a big difference, which is definitely a welcomed improvement. Joe Fotoleo, 420 super chat, wakey. I don't have anything here to partaking, but thank you so much for the $4.20 . super chat. Really appreciate that. The Chat Pro hat was the best purchases made in 2022. Yeah, that's right. A little Chat Pro, little homage to Hustler Casino Live. I love poker. All right. Let's see. Even though the new DJI controller doesn't have a fan, would you use it over the original smart controller? Which DJI controller are we talking about? The gray version, the one that comes with the Mini 3, or are we talking about the one that the RC Pro? Because the RC Pro has a fan. The mini RC, like the $300 smart controller, does not have a fan. So I guess it just depends on which one you're talking about. Yeah, I feel you, man. It's probably still really, really early. What is it? 10 o'clock here. So what is it? 6 o'clock over in Alaska. My goodness. DJI battery seems sketchy. Any alternatives? What DJI battery are we talking about? There's a lot of batteries to talk about. Are you interested in testing Walksnail since they have released a VRX? I've given Walksnail some consideration. My major drawback and concern with Walksnail was when it first came out, like there was all sorts of issues with voltages. People were frying the units. It just seemed overall very clunky. I'm open to trying Walksnail, but it's hard to go to a system that is performing at a lesser quality than what DJI is already operating at. So that's my only drawback with going to Walksnail is I have higher expectations and I feel like I would be disappointed. TBS Crossfire versus Express LRS recent module looks like a beast. Yeah, I haven't jumped on the Express LRS train. I should jump on it because it seems like a lot of these modules that are coming out are all-in-one solutions, which may be the best of all worlds, having Tracer and Express LRS. But I haven't tried Express LRS. I need to figure out which one I want to go with. I need to go with whatever the one is going to be the smallest to fit in most quads. But I hate switching. I'm already on Tracer now, so if I switch everything, which sucks. Do you still have any more of those FPV2 controllers? Adorama just gave me another delay. Let me do this. I will find out for you right now. I will text Zach, who's at the warehouse, and I will see if he has any more RCs. I know we had 8 left before yesterday. So let me ask him if he's got any more of them. So I'll just text there. I'll find out in just a moment. Just signed up for Drone Base. Thoughts? Not a big fan of Drone Base. I don't know. It's okay. I mean, it's okay, just not a big fan of them. I'll just put it that way. I think there's going to be other solutions that hit the market very soon. Yeah, it's good for gaining experience, but they pay like absolute shit. That's my biggest problem is that they take advantage of people's inexperience and they pay them like shit. So, which, I mean, I get it. You sometimes have to earn your dues, but it's just not good for the marketplace it's not good for the industry overall, I would say. So they need to retool how they treat pilots. That's my opinion. Tell me which GoPro to buy for the Avada, 11 or the Mini. So I did do, actually, let me look. Let me see. I don't even know where the fuck I put it. The funniest thing, I cannot find where I stuck my 11 Mini. I just started using it. I don't like the 11 Mini. I'm just going to put it like that. I hate the GoPro 11 Mini. And I know a lot of people may disagree with that, but I think the 11 mini has too many freaking problems. So far, out of 6 flights, 3 out of the 6 flights that I've landed, the 11 mini has been frozen. Like I couldn't power it off. I couldn't stop the recording. It was still recording, but all the screen and all the inputs were completely frozen. And D&D Ariels, to your question, we are completely sold out. We are waiting on more units now. As Zach put it, we blew those fuckers out. so that's how fast they went. I had 50 units on Friday or I think Thursday. I had 50 units Thursday, and between Thursday to now, they're completely gone. So I'm gonna get more probably. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the 11 mini. I would recommend not getting the 11 mini right now, not until GoPro tries to do some updates to it. There's a couple of reasons why. Number one, you cannot turn off the Wi-Fi at all. Even with GoPro Labs firmware installed, I cannot turn off the Wi-Fi, which is a big problem flying digital because it interferes with my video. It gives me like lag and latency, which sucks. And I don't know. The 11 is good. I like the GoPro 11, but there's still some issues. If you use hyper smooth, there's like some weird shit happening for freestyle, in my opinion. It like gets all goofy. Honestly, I like the Action 3. I like the Action 3 the best. And I think that weight wise, you're looking at 126 grams for the Action 3. And I believe for the Mini, it's like 12 grams difference from the Action 3 to the Mini 11 if you take those tabs off. So that's my thing. Caddx Walnut. I mean, the Caddx Walnut was a promising camera, but the only issue with the Walnut is the quality. The image quality is so bad. And Caddx just didn't do anything with that. I think that's another situation where they had a great idea and they just didn't engineer it correctly. And it's like, I wouldn't use that on my worst enemy. It's horrible. So, but hyper smooth as of right now, the new hyper smooth on the 11s, it has like this issue, sort of like the Action 2 had, where as you're flying, it loses itself. Like if you watch that video I did on the 11 mini, you'll see multiple times throughout the video where the hyper smooth just sort of wigs out a little bit and goes to the left. It's really weird. It's very, very weird, which makes it unusable because then the only option you have is to use Gyroflow, which isn't really a good solution either, in my opinion. Think we'll see the O3 air units before the end of the year? I'm looking forward to those. Maybe. I mean, you never know with DJI. DJI can release things at a moment's notice. You just never really know. Is now the right time to upgrade my Mavic 2 Zoom? Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the time to sell the Mavic 2 was before the Mavic 3 launched. I think when you're selling and buying drones, you have to sell them before the next generation of drone comes out. It is a good idea to upgrade, obviously, with remote ID. If you don't want to buy a remote ID module to mount it to your drone, your probably best bet is to purchase a new drone. I mean, that's and the Mavic 2 Zoom's seen some serious miles at this point, so I would probably upgrade it anyways. I don't know. And that's saying I don't know how they're going to really enforce this remote ID. I really don't. It's going to be really interesting when this finally does go live to see how exactly they enforce it. I would imagine they would enforce it more on social media than they would if it's just people privately flying. Because I mean, like, we're going to be like fish in a barrel. So it's going to be a lot easier for them to do it, but I'm not really sure. Shutter Speed Ireland says part 1 of the question. Hi, Ken. Can I ask a question? When filming in sunlight, I get brightness in the follow-on drone, but it's a brightness and can't understand what's causing it. The sunlight isn't on the camera, so I don't understand where the flare could be come from. Shutter Speed Air Ireland, what type of drone are you filming with? That's gonna help me answer that question. I need to know what type of drone you are filming with. Remote ID, just insanity. Yeah, it is, but I mean, now we're already past the point of return, so we're just gonna have to adapt and accommodate, I guess. Yeah, so Eddie, you bring up a very interesting point. So there is these things called FAA drone pros, and they've been grooming. I'm an FAA drone pro in my area, but I don't ever like go out of my way to enforce or like message people about their flights. I don't do that. That's not my responsibility. I educate people if they're with me, but I won't go out of my way to message them if they're doing something incorrectly. Does that make sense? I'm not paid to message people. I'm not paid to harass them. I'm not paid to do any of that. Now, if the FAA wanted to put me on the payroll, sure, I would help, but I'm not on their payroll and I don't have any of those wonderful government benefits. So I'm not doing that shit. Mavic 3. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would say if you have some footage, email me some footage. Let me take a look, and so I can figure out what's possibly happening. I need to see. I would need to see it. If you have any footage, sure, shoot me some footage. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's first time we're doing a Monday stream ever in the morning. Look at that. How do you become an FAA drone pro? There's actually you can go out to the website and apply for it, and you got to take a test. And then your local FSDO has to approve you as a drone pro. And basically you go into a subdirectory where people could reach out to you. You can assist with, training, things of that nature. So there's a couple of cool things that go into it. But that's really it. Can use third party apps like Pix4D on the new DJI Gray smart controller. I have not loaded Pix4D capture on the smart controller, but it is running Android. So I'd imagine if you could download an APK, you could run it. Essentially, you can run any Android app on that controller. Hello, Dobo. Your GoPro mount for the DJI FPV, which material is it made? You get much vibrations from the GoPro footage? No, it's made from a plastic material. And no, you don't get any vibrations because the way we designed it is to be a 4-point mounting solution. Matter of fact, one is coming off the printer right now. So the way we design these is so it mounts in a large mass, so you don't get any vibrations. A lot of the GoPro mounting solutions on the DJI FPV drone do not do a good job with vibrations because there's not enough of material to make sure that it does not vibrate. So no, we don't get any vibrations. Matter of fact, we have sold now to date, I have sold 4,000 of these GoPro mounts. So if that tells you anything, that's a shit ton of FPV drones running GoPros. It's pretty crazy. Catching up with the chat here. Oh, it's the little green dot. Yeah, I get that too on that. I don't know what it is. My guess is it's because the lens is pretty wide. I think that most wide angle lenses will get that little green flare dot. It's annoying, but try to make it stylistic, I would imagine, or try to get a different set of ND filters that can refract that. The Mavic 3 is overpriced. I think the Classic is priced right. If you don't need a zoom, the Mavic 3 Classic is the best way to go. And honestly, and a lot of people have said it, they will no longer recommend the Mavic 3. They're only recommending the Mavic 3 Classic, which I'm not mad that I bought the Mavic 3 when it came out. I'm very, very happy with it so far. After the recent updates, I wasn't happy the first 2 months that I owned it, but now I am because everything's functioning. And I would imagine that people who buy the Mavic 3 Classic are probably really, really happy with it because they're not going to have any of the growing pains that most people that bought the Mavic 3 had. Trying to get caught up here on the chat. Sorry, fellas. Does the Gray Smart Controller have HDMI out? No, the Gray Smart Controller does not have HDMI out. It's a very, very budget smart controller. If you're needing pro features like HDMI, you need the RC Pro. 3.5-inch Cinewoop. Is it too much for real estate? I don't have access to a naked GoPro. It's not too much for real estate. I mean, I fly the Shenron squirts for real estate. I got to tie my shoe. I fly the squirts for real estate and they fly fine. I mean, it really depends on your pilot skills. Like how you're flying is how it's going to depend on whether or not it's too much. Yeah. Yeah, it's annoying. That green dot is very annoying. I've gotten it in a lot of footage, but luckily enough, most of the times when I get that green dot, it looks more stylistic than it looks like I'm meaning to get that flare. So not the worst thing in the world. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody's questions. The chat was going pretty freaking fast there for a second. Let me switch it over to live chat to make sure I don't miss anything. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Exactly. It's character. And I wouldn't really worry about it. Like I said, I've been using the Freewell filters and I haven't gotten any sort of like weird lens flares recently. I use the polarized filters and they work fine. What's going on, Jake? Good to see you, buddy. So Open Drone ID on Android finds the ID equipped drones. I have seen that. It's pretty scary. We'll have to see how that plays out. I've also heard that they can scan a flight and you could submit that flight as a report to the FAA. So that's also annoying. I mean, we're going to probably deal with a lot of crazy shit as remote ID plays out, but we'll have to see. What's the next big thing in drones? I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like drones, as far as consumer drones go, I feel like they're peaking. I would say the next big thing in drones would hopefully be the Inspire series for professionals. I hope that's what's going to be coming out. But beyond that, I really don't know. I don't really wish or want for much more. I don't know. I'm terrified of pointing the M3T anywhere near the sun. Is the sensor that sensitive or am I? I think you are that sensitive. I have not had any problems with the M3T. It's not even a concern. I don't think you're going to have any problems. Although, I mean, that camera and that sensor is really meant to be flown morning time before the sun really rises and there's thermal loads, and then in the evenings when there is a decrease in thermal load. So, I mean, it really is a nighttime oriented drone, but I mean, I don't think it's anything that you should be really too freaking out about. Exactly. Oop, battery's done. Alexa, turn off charging station. Charging these guys, I didn't want this to overcharge. That would be a catastrophe. These Cinelifter batteries. Best ways to make money with drones you're just starting out. I mean, you have to look at the industry and decide what avenue you would want to go into. My recommendation, there's the first thing you need to do is obviously make sure you're certified. Once you are certified, then you can go ahead and decide what do you want to do. Do you want to do mapping? Do you want to do real estate? Do you want to do inspections? There's a plethora of options available. My recommendation, if you're not sure, head over to the Pilot Institute and check out some of their courses that they offer. Probably one of the coolest courses that they just released is this new mapping course, which I'm sort of working my way through now. So my recommendation, check out that course there. It's the mapping course from Pilot Institute. That's probably, I would say, the easiest way to get involved into real estate, if you are, or not real estate, into drones and making money, is if you have a drone already, check out that mapping course. It'll probably shed a lot of light onto how to actually make money in a fast manner, I would say. Sorry, Jared, your secret's out, man. Your secret's out. Jared's my mapping sensei. He is all things spatial. What are the limitations on the Avada camera? I saw someone saying indoor shoot where the hallways it was skipping or doing some weird jerky zoom stuff. Yeah. So the Avada camera, the biggest limitation for the Avada camera is the frame rate. Also, when it gets into low light situations, it has problems with the shutter. So again, if you're going to do indoor flights or you're going to do walkthroughs or fly throughs with the Avada, I still recommend mounting a GoPro. I really do. Not only that, if you're flying in manual, it tames, it almost like it tames your flight a little bit and makes you have a little bit more control because of that added weight. I know it sounds weird to think that, but that's just what I've found as I've been flying. What's up, Mac? I'm an FPV guy. Been looking to get a GPS drone to have for B-roll and such on a budget. Is the DJI Mini still a viable option in 2023? Yeah, the Mini is still a viable option. And matter of fact, I know for Black Friday they are selling it. I think they have a Fly More combo for like $500, which is still, and that's on the Mini too. That's on the Mini too. And I know, let's see, on the Mini 3, they're selling that for $909 with the smart controller. So there's a lot of crazy deals right now happening on some of the DJI drones. So yeah, I mean, the Mini drones are just fantastic. The Mini 3, you honestly can't go wrong with that. Mini 3 or Mini 2, you can't go wrong with it. And how exactly is the FAA going to enforce remote ID? That I don't know. I have no idea how they're going to enforce that or figure it out. No idea. My guess is it's going to be for a little while like shooting fish in a barrel. You post something online, they question your flight, they look to see if there's a log from you specifically. They don't find it. I mean, that's sort of how the FCC targets people. And I would imagine the FAA as a government entity would probably not be very different. Yeah, a secondary camera on the Avada is great because you can really control that frame rate. I like 30 frames per second when I'm doing fly throughs. 24 is good too if you were moving slow enough. If you're going too fast, then I would say stick with 60. What do you think of the DJI FPV controller, the black one, and why don't you use it? Because it has bad signal and penetration. I have used the DJI FPV controller, but the problem is when I'm flying my Cinelifters or I'm flying my other drones that I have Crossfire or I have Tracer in, I don't want to have to keep switching back and forth between RCs. So what I've done, I just use Tracer, or I use the TBS Crossfire because I get great range, good penetration, and I can use it universally between multiple quads. There's nothing wrong with that RC. I just don't like it. I don't like the antennas. I just don't like the gimbals on the black DJI controller. Now, the little controller, the FPV2, I really like that controller because to me, it reminds me of a TBS Tango 2, and it feels comfortable, and the gimbals feel really nice on that. But I don't like the other one. It's just, and the gimbals don't fold down, which is a pain in the ass when you're traveling. So that's part of the reason why. Yeah, World Drone Community Black Friday sale. Yeah, I've already seen that the remote ID was active. So I mean, it is what it is. Until they enforce it, I'm not going to worry about it too much, man. Al Mac FPB, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, so yeah, he did. He dropped. So on Pilot Institute, all the prices are stupid cheap right now. The one that's most notable, $199 to $23. That's not going to last but another few days for that Black Friday course. So yeah, definitely would say jump on that one if you already haven't. And there'll be links in today's stream where you can go check all that stuff out. I probably should have planned a little better for that, but I did not. But yeah, I haven't been following anything he's doing. You know, I haven't really followed up on what Robbie Gray's doing. I mean, to ruin what I'm doing, he would have to really try. Like we're leaps ahead, I think, as far as designs and what we have coming down the pipe in just a few days. So I mean, he would really have to try really hard to try to ruin what I do. I think at this point, as far as marketing goes, there's not anybody that can compete as far as marketing goes. Do you think remote ID will be like Copa a couple in a couple? Yeah, I really think I think so, Cardoso. I really do, man. Is it too early for a beer? I don't know. I don't even know if I have any beer in the fridge. I don't know if I have any beer in the fridge. What up, Dobo? Are you reviewing the HD0 goggles? No, I haven't. You know, I don't have any HD0. I'm interested in HD0, but I I don't have any HD0. I don't have any of the new Walksnail stuff. I've contemplated building one and put it together, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it, to say the least. Why no Express LRS? I think I didn't like Express LRS because it feels too hobby grade. If does that make sense? Like TBS has refined the process for their tracer units and their crossfire units, and they work really well. Express LRS still feels very, very unrefined in a lot of instances. So that's the reason why I haven't gone with it, just because of the refinement. Is there any book for learning FPV? There isn't books, but I would highly recommend just, well, no, there is a book, but I think it's talking about the philosophy of FPV. Honestly, when you're learning FPV, I would say watch videos. You're going to gain a lot more knowledge quicker, faster watching videos versus reading a book. That's just how it's been. So read a read a book or watch a video. What am I doing going live this early? Well, we're in the studio shipping. I canceled all appointments this week that I have for real estate because of the holiday. So I figure while we're in here printing and watching printers so we can swap filaments, I figure we'll do a live stream, try to kill two birds, one stone. So that's the reason why. Would you like to review the new Recon from Fat Shark? The problem with that is I don't have any quads that are running the the need for that goggle. Like I don't have any quads running the new Walksnail. So that's the reason why I haven't reviewed them. Would I like to? Yeah, sure. But if I have a VTX to go into the quad, then maybe. What's up, Brand Ariels? Yep, morning live. Yep, that is that. I know you're busy, dude, but I'm probably dogging these early streams, by the way. But definitely a different mindset this time of day than night when I'm ready to drink. Yeah, nighttime, it's gloves are off, and we've already had a few kick back a few, so definitely definitely a different mindset than mornings. Mornings, I'm a lot more. I guess I'll use the word coherent. Uh, Express LRS has gotten a lot better now from where it was with with unified targets and approved hardware lists. See, that was the thing. There was too many people producing hardware, and like I never knew what to get or do. I will dabble with it. I'm gonna try it out, but I'm gonna wait until after this month before I start going through it. My new thing is I want to keep my builds super, super clean. Like I want to keep all my builds as clean as I possibly can. I just also want to keep them simplified. I've also went back to beta flight. So I was flying KISS for a long time, and I think KISS is pretty much finally dead. They have the KISS Ultra flight controllers, but I'm not even messing with those. I'm just going straight towards, I'm just running beta flight 4.3 right now. I'm not even going to mess around with the FetTech stuff, because I think I can get similar flight performance out of beta flight 4.3 as I could on FetTech at this point. And and I'm running the Diatone flight controllers and the Diatone stack. And honestly, the stack that I'm running, the Mark IV stacks, are just amazing. Great value for $113. You cannot go wrong with that. Aris, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Why am I wearing a hoodie in Florida? Well, so this studio is about 68 degrees right now, and outside it's about 52. But I keep this office very, very cold because there's like 12 3D printers to the right side of me. So because all these printers are going, it does get a little warm sometimes. But when I keep the AC very low, like right now it's 68 degrees in here, it gets chilly. Yeah, I saw the iStack. I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of that stack. I looked at that stack from Axis Flying, and I'm just not a fan of that. Just as a whole, Axis Flying sort of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I'll just leave it as that. 29 degrees there. Wow. Yeah, well, you definitely got me by a solid 40 degrees, 30 degrees, maybe even. Oh boy. How much work did you do for free when starting out? Seems like in the St. Louis area isn't catching on drone aspect things. Honestly, I really didn't do a lot of work for free. I maybe did one or two. I think I did 2 properties pro bono for somebody. But here's the thing. You don't want clients that want you to do something for free, because if they're not going to respect you for the work you do, they're not going to respect you at all ever. So just don't offer free work. Even if you suck, try to charge something sometimes. If you want to try to build up a portfolio and you want to do something for free, do your family, like photograph and film your family houses, like really nice family houses. Don't do work for agents. Don't do work for clients free. You can do work for family for free in practice, but don't do work for clients free. It sets an expectation in their minds that they just feel like they can take advantage of you. So it's the same way. Like I had a lady message me today and she says, "Are you doing any Black Friday sales?" And I said, "Yes, here's my Black Friday sale. I'm going to do photos and video for you, and you're going to pay your fucking bill." And she was like, "Oh, okay. Well, this other I said, don't give a shit what other photographers are doing. My work already comes at a value, so there is no sale. That's it. So you like just draw the line. You got to respect yourself. Don't let them fuck you. They're already getting good deals. Don't let them fuck you. Matt, you need to definitely do it. Dobo, your 3 favorite movies and 3 favorite music groups. Wow, that's 3 favorite movies. Short Circuit 1. Oh shit, Short Circuit, man, is probably my favorite. Short Circuit 1 for sure. I like those weird little 80s movies. RoboCop, and man, it's got to be the first Batman with Michael Keaton. Like I could watch those movies all the time. I can watch them all the time. No, I'm an 80s kid. I grew up on all those, like those quirky 80s movies. Yeah, you got to price competitively, but you can't undervalue yourself. Like pricing competitively and then undervaluing the market is two different things. What I try to do is I try to reach out to my competitors. We talk amongst ourselves and we try to make sure that we're not pricing ourselves, like we're not trying to rip one another off essentially. And I think that's been very helpful for me in making, friends in the marketplace, because they realize we're not like trying to compete with one another. Um, and that's worked out really well. That's worked out very well. Hey, Laser Laser, your mama was a snowblower. Fucking Johnny Five. Still my favorite movie. When am I coming back to colorful Colorado? Probably after winter, possibly. It depends. Like, I'm trying to limit my travel this year because it's been very busy, to say the least. Yeah, I saw that. Matter of fact, I saw Adam Savage. He was reviewing the Johnny Five robot. I would love to have something like that, or even like a little mini version. I don't even know where I would put it. It's one of those things I would just buy and not know what to do with. What's going on, One Vision Ariel? Good to see you, man. Johnny Five is a prototype of a Phantom line. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what that Johnny Five robot goes for, because apparently it's like a working, functional, like RC robot, which I think is pretty cool. I thought that was pretty neat, though. I would love to build one. Throw a crossfire on that thing. Throw a little FPV camera on it. I think that would be pretty cool. Yep. Sorry, just what's going on, Lee Victor? Good to see you, man. Coming to go high. Hope it ends up where everyone can see it over a private collection. Yeah, that happens a lot. A lot of things get sold privately and you just never see it again. Where's Lon? Lon is probably working. Last time I checked, I was talking to him the other day. He was like, "Man," he goes, it is freaking it is freaking snowing something fierce up there." Do I use any 3D resin printers? I do use 3D resin printers. I use the Mars 3 Pro, and I love them. I've got 3 of them, and they're fantastic. Actually, I have a resin printer that I have not been able to get functioning at all. For the life of me, I could not get this Anycubic Mono Max to freaking function. It just, no matter what I did, it just wouldn't print. But yeah, I love resin printers. They're fantastic. Any trouble regarding Mavic Smart Controller? I kept losing signal the other day in flight. I haven't had any problems with signal in a long time. But again, it also depends on where you're at. If you're over in Europe, you may be dealing with CE issues, and that's a whole nother problem. I can't get my prints to stick to the plate. You got to make sure. So when it comes to resin printing specifically, you have to make sure that one, you have your bed leveled, like it's got to be leveled pretty tight. Number two, you have to make sure you're putting your prints port so that it bites to the plate. So for instance, when we print like our jock straps, we have this whole support plate that gets printed first. Once that support plate gets printed first, then it'll start printing the model. And you have to also increase your exposure times, because you want to make sure that you're exposing it enough to where it's going to adhere to the plate, but not tear the FEP. There's like this fine line, and it depends on what resin you're using. So my recommendation is go out to the resin manufacturer's website and look up the settings that they recommend for that resin. So that way you can make sure that it is exposing it correctly and curing it properly. That's the best recommendation I can give anyways. Yeah, so the Saturn is a pain in the ass. So like I'll show you. Like this thing is a piece of shit. This Anycubic X2 is a piece of shit. I've never been able to get this to work. But these bigger LCD screens are a pain in the ass to print on. I don't recommend going bigger than like a 6-inch screen because when you're first starting out, you're going to have a lot of issues with it printing. So my recommendation is not to go with those bigger printers. I would highly recommend just staying away from the bigger printers. What's going on, Ray? Hey, Mikey. Let's see what I got. Voicemail here. What do I got here?
Hey, Ken, it's Emily from the Agent K. I'm calling you because we wanted to book an appointment in the Hudson right after the Riverview appointment is on at Friday at 12. Give me a call back. Let's talk about it. Let me know what time you guys should book it for. If you just want to do it manually. All right.
Yeah, I hate when people call like that. Wait, that was an old voicemail. Yeah, I think that was an old voicemail. Oh boy. All right. This is why people print shit for me. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Yeah, glue stick won't work on the resin printers. I just use a little purple glue stick and it's solid. But you should be scuffing the bottom too. If you scuff the bottom, it'll hit. What is Chat Pro? Chat Pro, this is something from Hustler Casino Live. So this is from it's a poker thing. It's a poker hat actually. So one of my hobbies when I'm not flying drones is I play poker. Could someone make a compilation of the 10 biggest meltdowns? 10 biggest meltdowns where? Because some of them got removed from the channel. I think I've removed some of them from the channel. Order the Avada Pro Combo Remote Controller 2 from DroneWorks a few weeks ago. Saw y'all got some in. Finally, I hope it's on the way already. Lee, send me an email with your order number and I'll check with Zach to see where that's at. I know that he got some of them in. I'm not sure what went out, but I will check with him and see what happened. 10 meltdowns. Heck, I could show everyone at least 20 from Harry. Let me tell you though, I've been on I've been on Ken's stream for at least 2 out of those 20 meltdowns. I'm always there when there's a meltdown for some reason, which he's doing better, but it's frustrating when you're doing live streams and things aren't going the way you plan them to go. It's just really frustrating. So it's annoying. And you just have a burst of unexplained energy. All right, thanks, Lee. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, usually the meltdowns happening at night. Like I'm not gonna lie, a couple of those meltdowns, I wish I could walk back. Like I wish I can take some of the meltdowns that I've had back because some of them were like, okay, a little over the top. The V-Copter, that was one that I don't wish I could take back. The Autel Evo, when I ate the Evo gimbal, I like that one. I would say the only real meltdown that I wish I could walk back was when I was ranting about the Avada. When I was throwing people's names out there, I mentioned 3 people in that stream, and then I had a little jib jab of 2 people. Now, realistically, only one of those two people should have been in that jib jab, and that would have been, you already know who that is. But the person who I probably owe the biggest apology to would be 808 State. I think that I misunderstood what his post was, and I just took it out on him. And I owe 808 State an apology for that. That is the only person that I would apologize to from that stream or walk back on that whole rant, because he didn't deserve that. I mean, I he's a good guy, but he did not deserve that. But that is the only person that I would apologize to from that stream. The other two guys, they can go get fucked. I mean, the other guys, they just, yeah, they can get fucked. Like I'm sorry, like, uh I could go on. I can go on and on about the one person, because I got a direct message from that person directly after that live stream ended, asking me to remove the live stream, begging me to remove the live stream. And I basically told him to get fucked. Like, I basically told him to get fucked. I mean, it's there. It's on the members tab, so members could watch that, but that's where I'm leaving that. What are you using the Avada for? Would you recommend it for real estate? I use the Avada for some dynamic shots. Like in real estate, I use it outside. I don't really use it inside. Like, I think people think I use the Avada inside. I don't. I use the Avada outside for dynamic shots in certain situations, or when I need to get really close to objects. The geofencing is a pain in the ass, because if you're not prepared for it, it may spring up on you. I can unlock it, no problem, but the geofencing is a pain in the ass, and you do have to have it connected to a phone to unlock it. So that's sort of a bummer, which is a big pain in the ass. But beyond that, I'd use it for certain jobs where I need to get close to objects, but I also need reliability of a GPS drone. That's when I'm using the Avada. What's going on, Adventure FPV? No, we're not talking about that. Not doing that. Yeah, hindsight's always 2020. I mean, that was a passionate live stream that just went sideways very, very, very carefully, very, very quickly. Yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, I've mended bridges with a lot of the people that I've probably pissed off. But is shit tends to happen, and sometimes it goes sideways quickly. So, but the biggest thing is just be the bigger person and try to make things right the best you can. Sometimes there's no coming back from certain live streams. Matt, take it easy, brother. Good to see you, man. Are the goggles 2 worth it if they get backwards compatibility? It's a good question. I think the goggles 2 are great if you like to travel, if you want a small form factor. They're freaking amazing for small form factor. Problem with the goggles 2 is you're getting a 1080p feed down to your RC or down to the goggles. And because you're getting 1080p, you're also getting a little bit more latency. You're getting about 2 milliseconds more than latency. So you have to decide whether that latency is worth the extra resolution. The other thing to keep in mind is if you are in hotter than normal climates, I have seen those goggles overheat. That's could be a problem. I like the goggles. I think it's worth the trade-off. I think they're worth the upgrade for the size alone, but they are not the most comfortable thing as of right now. They're not the most comfortable thing. Is Skydio launching a new drone? I seen a teaser, pretty cool. Too bad I never used Skydio 2. I don't know if Skydio's launching a new drone. I haven't even been to their website in a long time. Let me go look up Skydio. I think they're doing some Black Friday sales. I don't know if they're launching a new drone or not. I see they have the Skydio 2 Plus. I see I don't really see anything that they're launching. I don't know where you're seeing that. I see the let's look at the blog. Yeah, I think they just released firmware. There's nothing new that they have launched, the best that I can see. I mean, they're just still launching they're just basically still refining their software. I don't really see anything new. Yeah, the problem with the foam for the goggles too, because I have foam for it. I had a company send me foam, but the problem is the foam pulls the goggles too far away and you create more problems. So that's part of the reason why I've just not recommended that foam at all. I was really in high hopes for the foam to be functional, but it is not functional. It's just way too thick and it just creates more problems. Cases, get a GPC case if you want a case, Jared. You're not going to regret the GPC case. I got the large GPC case and it's freaking amazing. You can fit up to 5 batteries in there. You have room for the motion wanker. You can put the Avada up top. You can put ND filters in there. You can put the RC in there. You can put your goggles in there. It is an amazing case and it's very well built. So definitely go. I would honestly recommend just get the GPC case. Yes, it's expensive, but holy shit, it's very functional. Very, very functional. Do I do much thermal work? I do, but it's very, very sporadic as of recent. Yes, it is profitable, but there is an upstart cost to getting into thermals. And then there's additional costs because I'm not certified to do the documentation. We have to outsource our information so it can be certified if they require certification. So it's profitable, but it is very limited, of course. DJI FPV is $899 right now. Damn, that is pretty good. Ken, before the show, I asked you, do you think the Air 2, the OG Mini would no, it's not gonna be remote ID compliant. It has ADS-B, but it's not gonna be remote ID compliant. Yeah, thermal work is a tough game. Hey, Flight Path, good to see you, man. Do I use the same camera for video, photos, and real estate shoot? What's your latest? No, I always use 2 different cameras when it comes to videos. So I use the Sony FX3 for video, and then I use the Sony A1 for photo. And I guess I could use the A1 for both video and photos, but I like to have 2 separate cameras because I shoot in S-Log, and what I don't want to do is accidentally shoot photos in S-Log or accidentally leave the camera on no picture profile and then start doing video and overexposing. So I use 2 different cameras. They're just tasked with 2 different things, but I'm on the Sony bandwagon as of right now, and so far it's been really, really good. You would still get 720p from the Vista, right? Yes, but you still have that latency because the way the goggle is actually situated. So the goggle it will not transmit less than 30 milliseconds of latency, the best of my knowledge. It will not receive less than 30 milliseconds of latency. It may be under, but with the old V2 goggles, you're still getting 2 milliseconds less at 28 milliseconds or below. On the old goggles, I've seen up to under like 24 milliseconds, but with the new goggles, you're going to see about 28 and above on average. So you got to decide whether or not that's worth it, Itchy. Is the Avada a good starter drone for FPV? I mean, it's definitely a great drone if you want to get into it and you want something durable. I would say yes, because it is a lot more durable than the FPV drone. You can smack into things and it's going to be probably pretty much okay. So yeah, it's definitely a good drone, but just keep in mind, you're not going to be able to take it way up in the air and be able to do the same things that the FPV drone does, because that's not what it was designed for. And when you do that, it gets a little goofy. Yeah, so there you go. D&D's ITC certified and runs around 3,000. So he knows all about that. So would a 3.5-inch Cinewhoop with a GoPro 9 be overkill for indoor shots? I would say yes. I would say if you can get like a decase GoPro on there, you'd be okay. I would probably decase it, to be honest with you, because you're going to drain that battery probably quicker than you can fly through an entire house. And then it won't be like a singular one take. I love the Avada, but I would love to see DJI make another FPV drone that's smaller, maybe a 2.5, 3.5 inch. Yeah, we'll have to see what they end up doing. Maybe they create another one, maybe they don't, or maybe they give people the utilities to be able to create their own. It all depends on what they plan on doing pretty soon. The new M3 Enterprises, it makes it affordable, so that may be changing. Yeah, it may. I mean, it's somewhat more affordable. I mean, $5,000 still up there. Mike from FC Drone said you have been shake issues with the Mini. What's up with that? Yeah, so the stabilization hyper smooth is just all over the place with the 11 Mini. Personally, I think the 11 Mini is a piece of shit. Not only that, I would say three separate times I have landed and the Mini's been completely frozen to where I have to hard reboot the 11 Mini. So the 11 Mini for me, it's going back. I've already made my decision on the 11 Mini and what action camera I'm going to be going to. So I'm switching over to the Action 3 for all of my action camera shots, because I'm not going to deal with this shit with these things freezing like that. I haven't had any problems with the Action 3. Quality wise, it's pretty similar to the GoPro, so I'm just switching over. I'm done with GoPro as a whole. It's like the 11 Black and the 11 Mini were just like the nail in the coffin for GoPro and me. So yeah, the hyper smooth, if you want to use it for freestyle, it's garbage. I mean, I guess Real Steady works, but it's like at what point, like I use Gyroflow so much, so I don't really utilize a lot of the GoPro-esque features, but there's definitely something to be said about having a removable battery. And yeah, the Mini 11, unless I just got a defective Mini, which I'm not going to rule that out, but it's such a pain in the ass to send it into GoPro, get another one. It's just a pain in the ass. They do. They keep putting out cameras with freaking quality control issues, which pisses me off. Like, I guess I didn't notice it. Like, I was trying to see. Let me I wonder if I could find that video. What's up, T? Let me see if I can find that video where I was flying. Let me go to my channel here. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me mute this shit. I wonder if it will play it. Let me see. Let me go to a window. Here we go. Let me share that. How to make sure I was sharing it correctly. So, like, let me go to all right, so this is the bot grinder portion. I just want to show you what I'm talking about. I want you to pay attention as I do like a move right about here. Watch this. See it? Did you see it? It like shifts to the left or something. I can't explain it. Just pay attention to the screen. You'll see the wobble I'm talking about. Wait for it. Not right, a little bit right there. Just watch. See it? How it's like slow, like the gyro is like right here, right there. Like what the right there too. What the fuck is that? That's not me doing that. That's the GoPro like overcorrecting or something. Just watch that, like it like shifts. I can't explain this shit. Like right there too. Like straight line, it's fine. Totally fine in a straight line. The minute you start going left or right or yawing, it's like it loses its mind. Right here, I hit the tree and crash, but like, wait for it. Like right there, like it's got like this little, I don't know. It's got like this little quirk to it. I can't explain it. It's driving me nuts. I don't know. It's definitely annoying. That's with hypersmooth, and that's with hypersmooth turned all the way down. That's on hypersmooth. And there's no other configuration other than just turning hypersmooth completely off to get that to go away, which is annoying. Also, it doesn't seem like in super view is very wide. Like super view used to feel like it was a little bit wider field of view, at least on the Hero 8. That doesn't feel that wide for some reason. So there's definitely something weird happening there. Now, I guess I didn't pay it much mind, but when I went back and watched some comparison footage from the Hero 11, I saw something similar. So my guess is there's definitely some problems with hypersmooth. So I don't know if GoPro is going to fix it, but I've not had that problem with the Action 3. The Action 3 I've been pretty damn happy with. Been pretty damn happy with the Action 3. Yeah, Gyroflow is super solid. I've been happy with. The only thing that can make Gyroflow better is if they added faux motion blur. Could you imagine if they made a Gyroflow where you can add in motion blur? Oh my goodness, that would be game changing. That would be absolutely game changing if you can add in motion blur into Gyroflow. Holy shit, that would be just epic. I would be stoked. That would erase the problems with having 60 frames per second on the Avada. Like that is just, whew. That is just, that's what I want. QC guy in the house. The orange creamsicle has landed. Oh, that's right. I sent you that one. I think I printed another one. I have one left because I have to print them in series of 4s, but I have one left. One more creamsicle combo left. I may have to put them up, or maybe just have to keep it exclusive to QC guy. He's got the only one ever. Maybe I'll make fruit colors. I don't know. But all right, how long have we been streaming? We've been streaming for an hour and 6 minutes. I think we'll call it. I'm going to start getting some prints done. Thanks everybody for hanging out, chatting. If I got to all the questions, I think I got. Hey Dobo, which is your favorite freestyle pilot and why? I think my favorite freestyle pilot right now is Ken FPV. The dude is an absolute beast. He's out of Germany. He's got some of the sickest lines I've ever seen, and he just flies ball to the wall. So Ken FPV is probably my my favorite thus far. It's definitely pretty badass. Have you thought about a budget action cam? Run cam orange, thumb usable? I've thought about the orange, but stabilization maybe is I mean, you can try it. I haven't had much luck with run cam. Adios, Rue. All right. Everybody have a good Thanksgiving. I'll be on Ken Heron's stream Thursday. I will see you in the next video. Maybe sometime soon. Stay original.
I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusion and reality, I'm somewhere in between. These voices in my head get loud and they keep telling me that I'm a fool for trusting in these wings. But maybe, baby, this what flying feels like. 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 Yeah. Baby, all my exes just drinking themselves crazy tonight. Baby, I should call and say, told you I'll be right. Wonder